Loadout tutorials, and today we're getting set up and ready for Apex Hunter 2023. We're going to go over some of our perks and skills. We're going to go through loadouts, and we're going to test them. So it's a little bit different. I've saved my current save file, and then we're going to, that way whatever I do and I alter, it's not going to matter. So we've saved my current save here on PlayStation. I always disconnect the Cloud Connect just as a rule of thumb. I want to make sure that um, it doesn't automatically upload before I want it to. So it's a good tip for PlayStation users. Always disable the auto upload. That way, if something happens, you're always safe to have that good file up in the cloud save if you've got PlayStation Plus. So we're going to go here on SRP, and we're going to take a look at some of the things that we can do. First, we're going to put the dog away, and then we're going to let's just get away from here where the music's at. If you're in chat, if the audio's good, please let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you can hear me all right. So let's start off by going to our perks and skills. We'll start off with our skill tree. So what I'm going to do for a competition here, I was thinking, is I'm just going to reset this. Let's go to our ambusher skills. We're going to reset that as well. And this kind of gives us an opportunity. We can talk about the value of some of the perks and skills. And as we go through it. So let's start off by going to Stalker. Now, as we can see, locate tracks. Normally when I'm hunting, locate tracks is a big one for me. I want to, have that increased tracking. I want to see the tracks at a more visible height. But here, when we're going to do a competition, we don't really need to see that far. So what we're going to do is we're going to pump one in so that the directional cone becomes narrower, and we're going to put one more in this so that we can see that much further. I think we're just going to leave that at this. Now here, track knowledge is a big one because whether I'm hunting or whether I'm going to be in competition, if I come across a track, I'm going to be looking for those max weight tracks. Because if we remember, if we have a max weight track as an animal, it doesn't guarantee that it's a diamond, but it's going to probably be in that gold to diamond range. And so we want to make sure that we have our track knowledge. So here we're going to put one in here that'll reveal the animal's gender. Then we're going to go to the second one. It's going to tell us the group sizes of the need zones that we come across. But then the third one, this is the one we really want. We want the approximate weight when examining the footprints. So we're going to do that today. Now, soft feet, obviously, we're going to want soft feet so that we're not making so much noise as we're moving around. And so we're going to pump 2 into that, so that way when we're moving through, as we're running around today, we're not going to create so much noise. Now, here's the tricky part to this. What I'm really wanting is I'm wanting to get over to here to improvise blinds and endurance. This is part of the reason why I hate the way that EW does these skills. I don't want to necessarily have to put fluff in. I want to be able to spend the points the way I want to. Now, we need to spend 9 points. So what I'm going to do is, because this is a competition, normally in my competition, looking for animals. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go into I'm only happy when it rains. I sometimes run this in my regular setup. And what it does is it decreases our visibility in foggy weather and decreases our visibility in rainy weather. So we're going to pump one into here. Now, whether it's foggy or it's raining on the map we're going to be hunting, I don't know. We don't know what we're going to be hunting just yet. But let's put another one in here as well, just in case it rains during the competition on the map that we're doing. So now we're going to go into here to improvise blind again, and we're going to put one in there, and we're going to put one into endurance as well. So we're just going to leave the stalker skill tree now, because we want to make sure that we have enough to go into our other ambusher skills. So let's leave there. Let's go to ambusher. And let's go over to here. Now see, once again, we want to get over here to pack mule. So in a competition, I want to be able to carry as much gear without penalty as possible. So you notice we got to spend 9 skill points to get here. Drives me mental. Because look at the first thing that we have is the Scent Tinkerer. Now the Scent Tinkerer is fine if you use Scents, but I don't know here which one, which people who are watching use Scents. I don't use them very often. They're actually very effective, but I never use them. But the fact that I got to waste a skill point in something that I never use drives me bananas. But we want to get to pack meal, so we got to spend a point there. Now here's a big one we want, spotting knowledge. Spotting knowledge, it's going to level 1 reveals how aware the animals are of nearby threats. Level 2, let's put a point in there, it's going to give us the approximate health of the animal. And then level 3, it's going to give us what we need for a competition, and that's the approximate trophy rating and weight of the animals when we spot them. So once again, we're looking for Apex Hunter 2023. We are going to be looking for our top 3 kills that we get within within an hour and a half period. We had an hour and a half to hunt. We can shoot as many animals as we want, but we can only submit our top 3. So we're looking for those big golds, those diamonds. And some animals, believe it or not, when they revert back to scoring 1.0, which is what they do, some animals score higher than another. So for example, last year in the competition, I shot a wolf, and that gold wolf actually scored higher than a diamond red deer when they converted it back. So we're going to be very selective on what we hunt this year, depending on the map that we go for. So, for example, Xbox last week they hunted on SRP here, and on SRP, if we were doing a competition here, I'm going for bison and mountain lions because I've seen diamond bison outscore great ones when they convert it back to 1.0. So we want to make sure that we're looking for the best animals. So having those skills in spotting is going to be great. So we're going to try Dazed and Confused once again. Not that we're going to be using a particular scent, but if I got to put the point somewhere, so I might as well put it in here so I can get to the next tier so we can get to what I want, which is sight spotting. So this is great if you've played the game. We want to be able to spot animals using our scope, and we can do that. We put a point in there. Now let's go to Fatal Attraction, and the reason why this can be important is because we just want to make sure that we can see. We might get an animal come in that we normally wouldn't come in, or that we normally wouldn't get in otherwise. And so we're going to put one here in Fatal Attraction. Just give me a second here. I can't read my chat. There we go. Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Richard, welcome. I hope you can hear me okay. How are you enjoying the game so far? So we want to get the pack mule. So once again, we're going to put another one here in Fatal Attraction. And there we go. So we need to spend one more point. And you know what? Let's put it in this one. Excellent. So you've seen the vids. So Richard, if you go in, let's go over here. Let's go into System. And when you go over into Interface, you're going to scroll down through here. And you notice it says, hold on, is it here? Right here, spotting outline colored. You can choose. You can go, there's all those ones you can choose from for your spotting outline color. I just pick cyan just because it's something that I can see. So all you have to do is just go in to the settings and go into interface and then scroll down to where you see you can change the color of everything. So if you're having a hard time finding track colors, I'm colorblind, so I don't see like reds and stuff very well. So, I have it on bright green. In active track, I have on cyan. Dog outline color I want to see. Yes, so the actual animal is your spotting outline color, Richard. That's what you'll have to change. So here, I'll demonstrate that. Let's get out of here and let's go and look at this. So for example, we're going to go look at this pronghorn, and you can see now we've spotted them. It's that cyan. But now if we go and we change it, oh, my bad. It happens to the best of us. This UI system on console sometimes it gets pretty sticky. So we could change that, and then when we spot the animal, it's going to change it to a different color. So excellent, good question. No, that's okay. That's okay. It's my fat fingers are scanning through everything, right? So that's how you change that. You just go in there in the system in the interface, and you can change anything from, the dog outline color, track color, all of that stuff. So we were in Ambusher. We're trying to get to a pack mule, so we threw one here into the light feathers so that if we fall during the competition, we're not going to take as much damage, and now we can get pack mule. So pack mule here, when you get pack mule, it says increases capacity by 15%. This is like having a small backpack, which is 3 units. So having that, and it doesn't do any, there's no effect. It doesn't make your noise higher. It doesn't make you louder. It's a fantastic skill to have. So last but not least, we're going to add the Who's Deer perk because I'm thinking I'm going to use the electronic collar for the competition. And so to have that collar track in another species, that might be very helpful. So we're going to put one into there. So that's all of our skill points that we have. And now we can move on to our perks. So once again, this isn't a normal setup that I would run. I don't run pack mule usually when I'm playing this game. I don't need to anymore. I only carry a gun or two with me and a bow. This is just because we're doing a competition and I want to be prepared. I don't know what map we're hunting and I want to be prepared for everything. So if you have some suggestions when it comes to loadouts, by all means, let's fire up the chat and see. So let's move on to our perks. And there's nothing I want to add to rifles. We've got our muscle memory. We've got our breath control, which is very important because it increases the amount that we can hold the breath. And this one here, the zeroing, If you've maybe seen my YouTube video on whether or not you need zeroing, certain guns you really don't need it for. Most of the rifles are fine as long as like a 303, the 7 mil, guns like that shoot very flat to the point where you actually don't really need the zeroing very much. The reason I have it on now is because I was hunting with like muzzle loader and I wanted that zeroing. And for comp to go waste time running around chasing an animal that maybe I shot poorly. So, and of course, steady hands enabling us to not have that wiggle. Welcome, Dead Man. Nice to see it. So we're not going to touch anything in rifles, and we're not going to put anything else in rifles. We don't need to know what the windage is. Useless. And this focus shot only works for, like you can see, iron sights, the red dot, the holographic. Um, we don't need the any of these things for what we're going to be doing here on come tomorrow. What we are going to do is we're going to take everything out of archery because I'm not going to be hunting with bows tomorrow for the competition. No, I'm not on a phone connection. I'm just wondering if it's my headset together. I have ordered a new microphone, so I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it's coming out okay. I've been having some issues lately with, not with my internet. I've just been having some issues lately with my microphone setup. So I have a new microphone on order for doing streaming, but thank you for that. So we're going to reset the archery. And there we go. I did reset the archery. Excellent. So the only thing that we're going to put back into archery is we want this move and shoot. So, for those who are new players, this move and shoot is very helpful. When you kind of go side to side and you've got that, if we'd go right now and equip a gun, there we go. If we go and we equip a gun, here we go when we move sideways. See, we wobble. Sorry, we go and we wobble side to side. Watch what happens when we put this move and shoot perk on. We'll go to archery. We got to put one in here into full draw, but then let's go to move and shoot. And now what happens? Now we can go side to side without it moving. So that's the whole point of that. Man, these guys are just, we got nothing we can shoot here really. So let's go to, where are we, perks? So those are the only things that we want for archery. So as a beginner, maybe you're starting, you might not know that. So that move and shoot is a hunting in the game. So let's go to shotguns. As you can see, we have both eyes open. This is not, I only put one in here because it's not that important because I don't use the iron sights or the red dots that much. But what we're going to do here is, you build your tree faster shouldering. So this is something that I can use in competition. I want to pull up my gun faster. So we can see when we pull it up, let's see the effect when it's at full. So let's pump one more into faster shouldering. And now watch how quickly that gets brought up. It's just a little bit faster, but once again, when you're in one of these competitions, oops, I shouldn't have fired like that. When you're in one of these competitions, the faster you can bring up your weapon, the better. All right, so, and by all means, if anybody has any questions about some of these perks and skills, running a regular setup, just go ahead and ask. Because in shotguns, one of the things that you want is you want the recoil management. Because when you're choosing your perks and skills, um, especially your perks, some of these weapon stuff has effect for all weapons. You notice it says less recoil when firing any weapon, and able to follow up, are able to fire a follow up shot sooner. So recoil management, that archery perk that we had, right? It affects all weapons, the wobble. So you're looking for perks like that. So I think we're done in shotgun. I just wanted the faster shouldering. We don't need to worry about rotating with iron sights. I don't have ever noticed a big difference with that. But in handguns, one of the things that we want is I don't normally run it. Once again, competition's a little bit of a faster pace, but we're going to pump one here into sprint and load. So that way, when we're running around the map, we can reload right away without having to stop. Now there is like a little. Once again, I've made a game save, so let's just go here just for point's sake. Let me reset that. So once again, what's sprint and load? Sprint and load is here I am, I'm walking, and I want to reload my gun. I can't. However, there is a workaround with this. If you start the reloading animation, you can start walking, and then you can go to a run. But once again, that's personal choice. I don't normally need to. I'm not a running gun type of guy when I play this game. I'm stalking the animal. I'm taking my time. But if you like to run around the map and reload as quickly as you can, you want to get this perk to sprint and reload. So as you can see now, we can fire off a shot, and and now we can run, and now I can reload right away. So it's very handy in a competition situation, so that you're able to do that, or if that's the style that you hunt, where you just run around the map and you're shooting things. So one of the things I want to get to is I want to get over here to Ranger. So now um, they've made it so that when we spot an animal, I can see that it's 210 to 280 meters. So there's this, we can see there's a 70-meter differential. But when we apply this perk, I'm just going to take this one. It doesn't matter which one I take because I'm not using a handgun. So when we apply this perk, watch what happens. Now we've gone, 260 to 280. That's a pretty accurate rangefinder for when you're using your scope on an animal. It's only 20 meters. 20 meters is next to nothing. So I'm going to run this perk for the competition because that way I don't always have to grab my binoculars out. I can run around with my gun. I can quickly spot an animal and say, okay, he's 290 to 300 meters. Well, so he's 300 meters. So now I can just pump it to 300 meters and shoot the animal if I want. So kind of a handy little perk to have for what I'm doing here tomorrow. Not necessarily one that I need to run all the time because when you're doing a regular hunt, you can take your time. So now we've got one perk point left, and we're not going to put it into archery. I don't really want to put it into, there's nothing in handguns that I need. I, except for this here. This is called Lightning Hands. And Jaxie Beard on one of his streams, for um, he recommended this for people who are, say, grinding, because it helps with your reload time. The problem is that I don't think it's going to help that much for what I need to do in the competition. But I also don't know where I could put it. I thought about putting it over here for body control, um, just simply for the fact that if we're hunting Reventuli, we're going to be going for birds. And so this would help with the shotgun. So I actually think I'm going to put this in here instead of in the reload perk. Part of me, I'm really torn actually. So this is what we're going to test today. We're going to test to see um, if this is going to help with the weapon aligning faster. It's only for iron sights, or if maybe I should go for that quicker reload animation. So for the time being, let's throw it into reload. And let's just once again get a sense of if it makes a difference, really. So let's just fire this off. Fire this off quick. And now let's reload. And now let's go and let's add one over here to see if that changes at all. So a little bit faster, right? So we can imagine if we were at level 3 with that, that's just going to pour on. But I don't see where we could take out of something that's going to benefit us for the competition. Yes, so did you got the 303 on Tierra Roa, right? And honestly, for those, I think that 303's got to be one of the best guns. It is just a fantastic weapon. It shoots nice and flat. It's my main weapon that I use in this game. I think it's highly underrated in the community. This one too, as well. If you don't have the Mosin weapons, you can see it covers class 3 to 7. So you can take, I think, red deer or class 6. So I mean, it takes a red deer down in a big hurry, and especially if you're hunting a map like Tierra Roa, um, something that's got like goats and class 7 animals, it's fantastic. Oh, there's a black bear. Let's just shoot him. Why not? Come on. So we'll see. Right. Oh, that was a terrible shot. I lost my breath. Oh well. How big is he? Very easy. Yeah, this competition is going to go great, isn't it? So let's go over here and let's go and look out at a loadout that we can use for a competition. So remember, we don't know which map we're going to be hunting. There is some strategy to this. I'm thinking if we're, like I said before at the beginning of the stream, if I was hunting on this map for a competition, which we've done before, which they did for the Xbox, I'm going for bison and I'm going for cats. It's very dependent on where we're going to be going and hunting, but we want to maybe make an all-around loadout, right? So let's go to our loadouts here, and we'll take this Leighton one, and let's rename it. Let's call it Apex. There we go, Apex competition. So let's clear our weapons out of here. We're going to clear our ammo out. We're going to keep the shotgun scope in there. Let's just go, well, we'll leave it there for now. I know I'm going to add it. Let's clear all this out. So we can see that our max weight, before my max weight was 20. Now with that pack mule, my max weight is 23. We're going to take, I'd like to leave our Senate Eliminator in if we can. I want to leave the binos in if we can. And I'd like to keep a tent. Scent Eliminator doesn't really matter too much. you know what? We're going to take that out, and if we have room for it, we'll put it in. So let's go over to weapons. Actually, let's do it by ammo class. So the 22-250 is great because we can cover 2 to 4 with that rifle. And so I'd actually really like to put that in just in case maybe we're going to be hunting fox. Maybe we can go and we can hunt up to deer with it. Maybe we're, where we can shoot goats or roe deer. So we're going to keep something that we can shoot class 2 to, I want that 2 to 4 range. That gives me 2, 3, and 4. That gives me 3 animal classes I can shoot. So let's add a 223 or the 22-250. I want to run a 22, and so we're going to use the truncated bullet. So maybe we're here on SRP, and I want a long range shoot turkeys. So we're going to add that to the mix. And I'm thinking the 7mm. So sometimes when you're selecting a weapon, it's best to select your ammunition first for whatever you're going to be hunting. So once again, I would love the British 303. And maybe even tomorrow when I know what map it's going to be. Like, for example, if I knew we were hunting like Tiararoa, for example, I'm going to switch to the 303 because I like the gun. It's quick. Not only that, it's, Tiararoa, we're looking at animals that are class 1 to 8. So I only need to go up to class 8 with it. And the British 303 knocks down the red deer like crazy. So I'd love to choose that, but just for an all-around setup, we're going to go over here to the 7mm, I think. Because the 7mm is going to cover classes 4 to 9. So when we combine that with the, say for example, the 2250, the 2250. So we've got the 22, it's a class 1. Then we've got the 22-250, that's class 2 to 4. And then we can cover 4 to 9 with the 7mm round. So that now we're covered right from 1 to 9 with our rifles. Yeah, I don't find it very noisy actually, but I guess it is louder than some of the other ones, right? It's got the, once again, it's probably my favorite rifle in the game. It's the one I definitely use the most. So now I want to grab some birdshot as well. And because once again, maybe we're going to an area, if there's a chance, like, I don't know, maybe we're going to hunt New England. If we're on New England, I want to shoot bobtail whites. They score ridiculously high. So we want to grab, but you got to shoot them with a shotgun, right? So they're just too hard to shoot with a 22. So we're going to grab a shotgun as well. And I think we're going to go with a 16 gauge. I know it's one less shot, but I like the sights better for the 16 than I do. I'd actually like to go for a 20 gauge because then I like the 20 gauge because we get a semi-automatic. 16 gauge, I like the sights on it too, but we get 2 more shots. And so this is all about shooting as many animals as we can in competition. So I think the 16 gauge probably would be the better choice. Let's hope. So we've picked up the ammo. Man, don't I ever wish they'd change this on console, eh? So now let's go and add our guns. So we need the 7mm. And I'm telling you, you scroll through here, it's hard not to pick these 303s. So we need our 22-250. I actually thought about taking the, oh, do I have dog biscuits on? Hold on. No, I don't have any dog biscuits on, so we're good. We're good. Oh, are you asking in general why 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 dog biscuits? You can feed your dog biscuits in order to increase the bond between you and your dogs. So you can't just continually feed it and it's going to pump up. You kind of gotta go between, playing with the dog, petting the dog, praising the dog, giving it a dog biscuit. I think they just threw it in there just as a little extra, right? Oh yeah, no, I thank you for pointing that out. I thought maybe I had them for a loadout as well. Um, so I thought about taking the Hornet because the Hornet's a 1 to 2, but as long as we have the 22 250, we don't. So let's grab one of these guns, and then let's go to the varminter. We're going to take that. And I think I passed the 7 mil that I wanted. There's the Olson. There we go. We're going to take the Malmer 7 mil. Excellent. So those are weapons that we're going to take. I've already got this one. So that one's got an orange barrel. I like to color my guns a little bit differently just so that we can see. Let's pimp this one out here. What do you think we should do for something a little bit more special for this thing? Let's go to paint. Yeah. You know what I like? I like this. I like this wrap here. This snow wrap. I kind of dig this. So let's do that. Should we go a complete, what do you think? Should we go a complete wrap on or do you think that washes it out a little bit too much when we go with a complete wrap on a 22 like this? Let's just take a look what it looks like. I don't mind that, I guess. Nothing's really flashy. You know what? Let's, I like always putting a little bit of, no. All right. Well, hey, I can, uh, I can take a hint. So what do you think we should do? Just the main stock? Okay. Yeah, you know what? I agree. So R2 to edit. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that complete wrap. Let's add something special onto it though. What about the Halloween rusted metal? Does that look okay? Yeah. Or should we put the blue on it? Uh, I'll be honest, I'm not. That looks a little cheesy to me. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's see here. The black looks sharp on it, I think, actually. We'll do black. And then what about, let's go to here. Nope, that's not where I want that. An orange pad like that kind of gives that little bit of I'm trying to be safe while shooting things. I could handle that, I think. What do you think? Yeah, I like the orange better. There we go. I think that looks good. Let's apply that. All right. So now we've got my, that's done, that's done, that's done. Excellent. So I can kind of know which ones we have here. So let's close weapons. Ammos are done. We want the Hyperion scope. How jazzed would people be if they brought out some new scopes? Like, um, I've been playing this game since release, and once you got the Hyperion, you never went to any other scope. The Argus scope, in my opinion, is way overrated. Yes, you can see a little bit further, but the wobble on the Argus is terrible, and the sight on it, like the amount you can actually see with the Argus is terrible. I find the Hyperion just is the best. So last but not least for callers, now on Thursday's stream for Xbox, one of the players, one of the contestants, had used this, and I was like, you know what? That's actually really smart to use the electronic collar. We're gonna test it out a little bit today. I want to know how close we can put this collar down. Like if the animal's 150 meters out, can I put that collar down without spooking it? Right? So we're gonna test that. So as we can see, we've got some room here. Oh, you know what? We don't. We don't. Richard, you caught the dog biscuits, but not the fact I didn't add a shotgun. The shame. So let's see what happens after we add a shotgun. It's kind of too bad. All of these shotguns are like the 12 gauge is 3.5. Let's just call it pounds, just because I want to call it that. The Rancho is 3.5 pounds. You get up to some of these, the 10 gauge, 3.5 pounds. The 20 gauge, 3.5 pounds. I wish they'd kind of revamp the shotguns a little bit and change some of the weights on them, because it would be nice if the 20 gauge was just a little bit lighter, if it was like at 3. But we're going to go with 16 gauge anyways. We're going to go with the Kuso. So there we go. And I can't add it. That's weird. What do I have here? Oh, I hate having to scroll. I didn't even add that. So what can we do? So I want to keep a tent. So you might be like, why are you keeping a tent? And the whole reason we're keeping a tent is because during the competition, if I need to switch something out quickly, I'll have that ability. And it's also like, when you're hunting, some of the competitors won't have the map necessarily that we're playing on, and sometimes it's just good to, just to be nice. So we've got nothing in there. We don't want to change that. You know what? Because we're only going to use the shotgun to shoot birds, let's get rid of the sight for the shotgun. And then we're going to go here and we'll add the shotgun in. Oh. So I don't know if anybody's... yes, I like time, because your gun sights wobble around too much when you stop from running until your heart rate comes down. There's a lot of times I'll use the gun sights, but for the most part, when I'm running around, I use the binoculars just because it's easier. Once again, we don't need, this is kind of a running gun when you're doing this competition. This is my 3rd year for it. When you're doing this competition, it's more of a running gun type of situation. So you're not, you're not overly worried about what's going on. So let's go to our inventory. And I always like to set my weapons up from kind of biggest caliber to smallest. And normally what I do when I'm setting up my weapons is I always leave a space in between because we're going to go and normally I'd be filling them out with collars. So I've always gotten into this habit because under the old way of the inventory and doing everything before the weapon wheel came around, when you had to, when you had to flick through your inventory, by pressing the D-pad sideways, I always I always liked the fact that I would go weapon, collar, weapon, collar, weapon, collar. So that's why I've just gotten so used to setting up my inventory that way. That's what I always do. Like for example, over here in slot one, like I'll have my binoculars, and if I was running a bow, I'd put my binoculars and bow because I'm always going to be using my binoculars to range something and then going to my bow because I just use the 5-pin sight. I don't use the high tech one, even though I have it. I don't think the 2 pound variance. You're going a half-pound sight to a 2 pound sight. I just don't think it's worth it. So I'd always put my binoculars, bow, collar, gun, collar, gun, collar, gun. It made it easier in the past to set everything up easier. So we're gonna just keep that going, just because even here in the weapon wheel, when we pop up the weapon wheel, it leaves a bit of gap. And so we're gonna move this tent up here, and it's because it's probably something I'm not gonna use very much. And then for lures, we're gonna put this portable collar right here. So there we go. So one thing, I'm not sure, Richard, you said you're playing on Switch. You guys got the weapon wheel on Switch, right? So one of the things that is good to know is you just have to put things in your inventory. You no longer have to load. For example, you don't have to load your weapons. It used to be you'd have to put your weapon in your inventory, and then you'd have to select ammunition, and then you'd have to select a sight, all from that inventory screen. With the advent of the weapon wheel now, all you have to do is put the weapon in the spot you want, and then you can go here and using your bumpers, you can add your scopes and everything else. It's fantastic. That was a great add, especially for us console players. The one thing that I get messed up on all the time now is that I'd love R1 to be like the weapon wheel instead of like hiding your weapon and stuff. So let's go test this out a little bit and see how we like it. All right. So we can see from the range, it's saying it's 130 to 180. So let's see what happens if oh, there they are right there. Okay. Let's see what happens if we put this collar down. Let's go to about 150 meters. And let's test this. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can drop it without spooking them. So actually, let's go in a little bit even more closer. Let's go to like 100 meters. We know the collar has a range of 200 meters, but I'm kind of curious to know how close I can get before they spook. Let's see here. So 119 meters. Let's go to 100 meters. I'm just curious. It's for science. Let's test it for science. Oh, okay. You're playing on Steam Deck. All right. So we're within 100 meters. Let's drop this down here. There we go. And now let's pull this up. I haven't used this too much, so. So if all goes well, they should just come right to us, right? So let's see. Problem is we're a little bit close. Probably wasn't a good spot to put it because of this hill, but oh, here they go. So we can put it in within 100 meters. How awesome is that? Now he can see us. Yeah, turkey. So that's kind of cool. I can see how that would really assist us. So now we're going to kind of wait for this guy to come in here, and then we're going to... Okay, so they're fleeing now. Okay, well, it's nice when they come to you. You don't have to run very far. So here we go. So here on SRP, I wouldn't hunt I wouldn't hunt these turkeys. They're not good for competition. Only until they get to be like, you know, they're they're going to be a diamond. It's the only time that they score really well. So excellent. That actually worked out pretty good. And so that's good to know. So we can. So even if we were like that means anything like 100 meters or more, we could drop that thing down, and we'd be able to call a bunch of animals in and just kind of sit and wait. So once again, if you're a new player or you're just joining us, biggest tip I can give you, you're looking for diamonds, right? Check tracks. When you're looking at the tracks, you're going to see that weight rating, especially when you have the proper skills. And it's going to help you to, I always check everything to see, okay, is there a max weight in the area? And my hunting style now is I just hunt strictly max weight tracks. I spot what I can see. I hunt max weight tracks. I try to see, I want to take out the big animals or the biggest I can find on the map, so that way I've got the potential to, harvest more diamonds. But even then, like, it's just kind of the it's what do you want out of the game, right? I'm not big on the grinding stuff. I know there's guys that are looking for, they want to get the great ones, and I don't know. It's just, it kind of defeats the purpose to use the mechanic of the game to me. That you're missing out on the essence of the game. This guy's actually pretty big. Let's take a pop shot at him. Let's try out our 7mm. No, he's only a level 3. What's over there? We're going to just lead him just a little bit. And we got him. That's good. Yeah, but it all comes with practice, Richard, right? Knowing your shot placement. Yeah, that with the hip shot, right? Sometimes you're unintentionally hip shotting things. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I'll set my controller down on my lap. Just the wife calls or something, and I just want to set my controller down, and I pop it down, and it's enough to push the fire button. And oh, does it ever drive me crazy sometimes. I didn't know if we got their zone. So you see, I was able to spot these guys, so we got all five of the animals that were in that need zone. I'm not going to bother checking all the tracks because we scoped them out as they were leaving. and kind of picked off the biggest one. It's, oh, I should have checked my shot placement on that. It's all about shot placement and stuff too, right? Oh, and not hitting a tree. How does that happen? So if you don't have this map, Richard, it's probably one of the best for beginners, SRP. TRO I really like too. Let's see what we got here. Nope, we don't want that one. So remember, we've got this 7 mm. We're good from 4 to 9, so this means we can take Bison with it, which is why this is an advantage to use this gun for, say, a competition, because then we're not worried. Let's take out this fort. Excellent. What do we got running here? He's nice size, but we don't want him. Let's go grab our 4. Now, I don't mind hunting this map, but is there any other map you guys like to see me go on for testing? It doesn't matter to me. I'm at the point, you know, I've got over 2,000 hours in this game, and I'm just at the point where, you know, I like doing these competitions. I basically hunt for rares. I actually started this channel just simply during COVID because there was a lot of new players coming into this game, and when I first got this game, I shelved it. I was like, it's a really good game. It's beautiful. It's fun to play. But man alive, is it, like, they don't explain anything to you. Like, and even when I first started playing, like, nobody had anything about, hey, how do you sort your inventory? How do you know, do all these other things, these basic things. And so that's why I came out with, this channel, was to help new players, right? Not have to go through the same struggle. I shelved this game for 3 months because I was just like, I can't play this. It was just so difficult to think. So there we go. We got a good shot on him. The 7 mm should have a little bit more punch, I feel, than what it does. Just so you know, if you ever get to that where you're like, oh, you've rotated this animal and it's bothering you, you can press the L2 button and it automatically resets it. So we can press it there, and then we can let it rotate on its own. I wish they didn't have the auto rotate feature. I wish it would just stand still. Oh, you like Yukon? Yeah, I've been hunting Yukon lately. I'm not out on it today, just because I've been hunting it so much. So this is a really great map. You'd like this map here. SRP is a fan, like is a very big favorite of the community. I'm really digging the Emerald Coast too. All right, let's change maps. Is there a map, Richard, you'd like to see that you haven't seen yet or haven't played yet, or? Oh, SRP. Okay, that's fine. Let's stay here. We're just going to go and change the time then. Actually, I don't mind Mississippi. So just so you know, for a new player as well, when you go and you want to change the time, do it in a tent. It's cheaper. It's about $250 250 to rest in. It's 250 to rest in a cabin. It's only 188 to rest in a tent. SRP is the map we're playing on right now, Silver Ridge Peaks. So let's set the time for almost 6. We'll do it right at 6. There we go. It's Colorado. In essence, it's got you've got your bison, pronghorn, you've got your Rocky Mountain elk. You haven't seen Mississippi. We can go there. Want me to go there? Give me a thumbs up. There, let's go see Mississippi. Do, do, do. Mississippi's actually, it reminds me a lot of, if I had to say, like, I live up here in Canada, uh, in Eastern Ontario, and Mississippi reminds me a lot of where I grew up in Southern Ontario. It's kind of flattish there, farmer's field intermixed with trees and stuff. It's kind of but where I live now in Eastern Ontario is almost just like New England. So maybe what we'll do is we'll run around and see what we can see on the map here, and I'll open up some stuff. I only got about another 20 minutes I can stream anyways. And we're just going to test this competition, or the competition setup. Yeah, it's kind of funny. There's a lot of small animals on this map. You've got raccoons, foxes. You've got the bobwhites. They're really hard to hunt. Like some of these animals that they have here on the map. It's kind of funny. But this game's made really big improvements. Like it's fantastic. The state of the game, I would say, is, if I had to rate it, I'm gonna call it I'd say it's about a 7.5, an 8 out of 10 at the moment. I wish there was some fixes that they would implement, but I mean, it'll come in time. EW's got a good track record for supporting their games, so I hate the fact that they used for Mississippi here, they used the stands that were from Parque Fernando, because I hated the Parque Fernando stands. So let's just see what we can see. Said I spent a bit of time when Mississippi first came out. I don't mind the new maps and stuff coming out, but part of the problem with maps is, oh, there we go. Let's see if we can grab him. No, I knew that wasn't going to hit already. Come on, come on, come on, come on. That's fine. Part of the reason I'm not a big fan of the maps, of different maps coming out. Oh, he might get the diamond maybe. Let's just shoot him. I'm actually not a big fan of shooting turkeys with the 22. I think it's cheating. I don't mind new maps. I understand that, running a video game company is a business and they got to keep the lights on. But it gets to a point when you play this game where sometimes I turn it on and then I turn it off because I just have no idea what I want to hunt. Um, that's why I like when they have the Hunt Club beta stuff on. Because when they have the Hunt Club beta stuff on, then it kind of gives me a purpose. Oh, let's shoot that bunny. So rabbits actually score pretty high too. So if I'm out hunting tomorrow in competition, oh, there must be something there. Oh, we got him. What was that? That went streaking across there. It was a bear. Now we got a nice gold. Not too far away from diamond either. So once again, he was a max weight 2. And so sometimes these 2s, they can make diamonds. So good thing to shoot them too if you're looking for diamonds. So if you're ever unsure of, here's once again kind of a beginner tip, I guess. Hunting pressure happens where where you land your first shot on the animal. So if I shot that rabbit like 6 times, the hunting pressure is going to appear where I first shot him. Now it's kind of interesting if you zoom out on the map a little bit, and you see how the hunting pressure kind of has like these 4 little corners to it. If you take this and you line up those 4 corners and then hit it, that gives you the approximate. In the center is the approximate area of where you shot that animal. Like that rabbit went down right away. So this is where we're going to set that there, and you'll see it's not that far off. So if you're looking for that initial blood track, you're looking for where that animal went down, it's that starting point. Always putting that, zooming out and putting that reticule in the center of the hunting pressure is going to help you. And using those 4 dots to help you do that is going to help too. So here we can see we put that in there, and look, we're 13 meters off from where he was to where the center of the hunting pressure was. So just a good tip if you're ever looking for, the blood trail or whatever, and you just don't know where, always go into the center of the hunting pressure to where you first shot the animal, and it'll be somewhere around there. And if you have the bloodhound, it's going to help too, right? Because he'll be able to pick up from there. So we got a nice silver. Yeah, foxes are tricky to get, right? They spook fairly easily. Fallow deer is great. Red deer are great, and I've got some really good red deer spots, Tiararoa. I really can't wait. I don't know if any of you have played the Angler yet, and I by no means am I selling anything for EW, but I actually bought it. It was on sale here on PSN. I think it might still be on sale on PSN. And I thought, it's gonna. I seen them playing it on console for like a year. Okay, so this is. We'll stop. We'll pause that conversation. Let's put a pin in there. This is what happens to me every time I hunt. So here we are. We've just come across a max weight whitetail, and I was headed over here, but now it's a max weight. I want to know if it's a diamond, and so this is how I normally hunt. So we're gonna go and we're gonna track this down. The wind's not great, but Let's go see if we can find where this whitetail was headed to. And sometimes the bigger the animal too, by the way, the track spacing is going to be further apart. So just follow the other tracks of the herd, especially for whitetails, and you'll be able to get these tracks here and continue to follow them. So this is where now we're going to check the poop. And if you've seen my video on how to tell time in this game, we're going to examine it. And we're going to see it's very old. So very old means that in game 30 minutes or more. So these deer were through here about 30 minutes ago in game time. We're also going to pick up this need zone here. Not that I needed that. So I like picking up tracks in need zones. Anyways, back to the angler. So I thought it was going to be cheesy. I'd watched some guys play it, but I'll recommend it. It's a good game. It's actually pretty addictive. I've got about 60 or 70 hours into it now. They've really kind of caught the essence of mystery when it comes to fishing. So, oh, you know what we're going to do? Let's see if we can. Sometimes you can snuggle up to these trees here and hide. Let's put this collar out. Let's see how effective this is. Yes, that is a deer call. Let us see. Well, we're tracking this max weight whitetail, right? So maybe. So here we have this lady coming in. And let's see if she's got some friends. Because these whitetail, they don't normally travel alone. We are on that max weight track, right? So. What we're doing is we're looking for her. Okay, that's a 2 minor there. So we're gonna get our gun out just in case with that max weight comes out, right? So that's what we're scanning for. We're scanning for that max weight boy. Man, this electronic collar is really, really effective, eh? Come on, where's the big boy? I mean, he's big, but he's not the one we're after. Oh, there he is, right there. So he's just a 2 minor, but hey, you know what? Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Nothing more frustrating. Hold on, let's see if we can. Nope. Once again, it happens. That's okay. Throw it up. F. So anyways, the The Angler is actually a really good game, and what it actually does is it gives me hope that they're gonna have. Um, I'm kind of really hoping it leads to a new Call of the Wild, like a new hunting game, because some of the features in that game are fan and all of that. It's actually really cool. All right, you guys didn't run very far, did you? This is the frustrating part about Mississippi, right? There's so much brush and stuff. This is the big problem for me is like, well, I mean, it's not a problem. It's how I hunt, where I kind of go around and I'm collecting need zones, and then all of a sudden you see a max weight track, and you're like, oh, I got to follow it, and it leads you on this goose chase sometimes. But it's okay because that's what hunting's actually about, right? It's that element of surprise. I can go on. I mean, if you're going and you're hunting just the drinking zones and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I'll be honest. If you're not out hunting like kind of everything and everywhere, you're missing out on a lot of fun in this game. There he is, right there again. He's dancing all around us. You know what? So sometimes too, when an animal's in thick brush, you can kind of zoom in and zoom out, and you can find them. But yeah, oh, is that the big guy there too? All right, so he's not going to make diamond, but I want to clear him off my map. So we're going to hit that tree, aren't we? Of course. And I'm out of breath. I think he's there. No. Oh, we got him. Look at that, blind shot. Oh, an 8 mythical. Let's take him out too. There we go, right there. Let's go pick him up. Let's go pick our whitetail up. And then I think I might call it. I'd like to stream a little bit longer, but my kiddos will be home soon, and they come home from school, and then everything just breaks out. Man, I gotta kind of hunt this map again. I forgot how fun this is. So let's see this fella here. That's a nice size gold. Where do we get him? Oh, that 7mm double lunged him. Oh, that's nice. That's hard to do on a alligator. I don't know if the saltwater crocodiles are a little bit more durable. How close were we? We're 40 points off a diamond, but that's good. Oh, that's a 7 very hard too. So I think the saltwater crocs might be. So to answer your question, Richard, you don't want to take more than 3 animals out of a zone. So what I mean is, if you've got a need zone, you can hunt 3 animals, but if you hit that fourth, it's going to delete the hunting pressure. Will delete the need zone. I'm not 100% sure about respawns and stuff like that. Like if there's a need zone with 1 animal in it and you take that animal out, I've had on my map where there's been one and it stayed, and then I've even had like a respawn come back in that one zone. So it doesn't necessarily delete it, I don't think. Now I don't know if maybe that's a glitch, but I can tell you for sure that I've had zones where, oh, there's another max weight. Oh, and this is believable. We have a bear. Because, bears and deer, they get along. Where I've had, like, I just want to make sure that I get what you're saying. Like, we've got 9 deer here. If I took out all 9 deer out of this need zone, I don't think it deletes the need zone necessarily. But if I shot 2 more deer here or 3 more deer here, I've already harvested 1 here in this need zone. If I shot 3 more, the need zone's gone. The exception to that is if you're hunting from a blind, a stand, or you're using a bow, you only get 25% hunting pressure. So if I camped out here, I could take all 9 of these deer out with a bow because they only count, it's 25%. So 4 deer down would count as 1 on hunting pressure. So you can actually hunt 15 deer in a stand or a bow, or we're going to use deer for example. You can hunt 15 animals without taking out that need zone because it wouldn't count. It would only count as like 3 3/4. I hope that makes sense. If you hunted that 16th deer, it would count as a full 4, and then it would delete the need zone. So let's go find. I shot this guy. Let's go find out where he went, and let's take a look at our shot, and then we'll call it a day. So I just can't be bothered trying to find the blood. Nope, I think it's right there. I couldn't be bothered, so let's just. I was gonna get the dog out, but let's forget about the dog for now. And let's just grab here. We see the blood here. No organs hit, but he died. Ugh. Let's just go. Let's do old school. I was gonna get the blood hand out just to make it easier, but he's gonna drop fast. We kind of took a shot, a wild shot, so there he is right there. He didn't go very far. I'm wondering if we maybe got him in the intestines. So he would have been a gold. How far off a diamond was he? 20 off of a diamond. But let's take a look at our shot here. Oh, we spined him, that's why. Still, we couldn't see him, so we took a guess as to where he was. So anyways, not a bad shot. I actually wish in this game when you used to spine shot them when this game first came out, as everybody would hit the spine, they'd drop down and you'd get 100% quick kill. And so they took the spine out as a vital because they didn't think it was ethical. So I agree with that, but I wish what happens if you hit them in the spine, they would drop on the spot because that's what they would do in real life. And you just don't get to pass the harvest check for hitting a spine. But you wouldn't have to chase them down either. But anyways, that's a nice whitetail kind of to end on our stream. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Thank you for helping me set up. Remember the competition starts tomorrow at noon with Expansive World. You can watch it stream on YouTube through the Expansive World. You can watch it stream on Twitch. But I'll also be streaming here tomorrow at noon as well, Eastern time. And giving you my perspective of going through the hunt. So if you want to come and join me tomorrow, would love to have you. Once again, check out my videos for tips and tricks, and we'll try to be doing some more live streams where we can answer people's questions. Thank you, Richard, for being in chat today. Truly appreciate the company. And so from Call of Wild Tutorials, happy hunting.